sitting here today in the St. Rose studio with a St. Rose graduate, Coleen Murtaugh Paratore, local author of 17 books, including The Wedding Planner's Daughter and her new book, Dreamsleeves, which just came out in April. How did you get into writing? Were you interested at an early age, or did it come later on?
I didn't do a lot of writing necessarily when I was young. I did a lot of reading. I loved to read, and I grew up in South Troy, New York, and my mom and I would take the bus uptown to the Troy Public Library pretty much every Saturday, and I'd get a whole bunch of books, and as a child, I read and read and read and read. I don't remember writing anything until like fourth grade. I wrote a poem, and I did a lot of journal writing. I never imagined that I would write a book. That seemed like too far out a dream, a notion, because I honored them so much. I loved them so much. No, I didn't really have the notion that I would be an author until, oh my gosh, when I have 3 sons. My oldest son was 10 years old, and this is about 10 years ago now. I was out running one morning, and I got this whole full-blown story playing in my head like a movie, I was like, whoa, where is that coming from? And I ran home, and I started typing it up, and when I was done, I said to myself, well, that's like a book. That's like a children's picture book. And that was the first moment that I had that feeling that, oh, maybe I could be an author. That book never got published. I went on to write maybe 17 other manuscripts and spent about a year finding out how you get a book published, which is not an easy task. And then I began submitting to try to get published, and that took 20 months, almost 2 years. But I guess maybe because the ideas began coming to me relatively late in my life, it's like I'm in my zone now, and I have more ideas than I know what to do with. Sometimes I think I'm going to go crazy because I'll wake up in the middle of the night, I'll be jogging in the morning, and whoa, another idea, and whoa, another idea. So I don't go anywhere without paper and pen with me.
Was it hard for you to get turned down by publishing companies, and how did you continue? I mean, it must have been hard if they turned you down and you really loved your idea. How did you carry on with that?
Well, the first couple of ideas I had great ownership in because I naively thought, oh my God, this is going to be on the shelf in Barnes & Noble. And that was really naive thinking. It's almost like if you want to be a famous basketball player and the first time you pick up a basketball and start dribbling, you're not going to be, I don't know, give me the name of a famous basketball player. Help me out.
Kobe Bryant.
There you go. Michael Jordan's the one thing.
Yeah.
So writing is a craft too, and the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Is there any one book that you've written that you're really proud of and that's probably your favorite?
Okay, so you're holding 2. The Wedding Planner's Daughter was my first novel, and I had written primarily picture books up until that point. So I had been writing these sort of books, which are called picture books. And I thought I would be writing these kind of books, and then an editor at Simon & Schuster said, no, I really think you've got the voice of a novelist. I want you to write a novel. I want you to write a novel. And so one day she said to me, I've got a title for you, see what you think, The Wedding Planner's Daughter. And I remember thinking, I got nothing. I planned one wedding 20 years ago. I hate to shop. I kept thinking, no, no, no. And then the next day I was driving home. This was in Philadelphia that this conversation happened, and I just began to get all these ideas about this girl, and her mother's a wedding planner, but her mom won't help her plan the weddings, and why. And oh, it's on Cape Cod, and I had to pull over the side of the road because I filled 2 yellow tablets with ideas, and that became my first novel, and that came out in 2005 with Simon & Schuster, and it's bloomed into now a 6-book series. The last one just came out last summer, and it's optioned for a movie, and so Willa, the main character in this book, she's like my daughter that I never had, because this is the first full-blown real character that has become so much a part of my life. She's like a person to me. So this book, and then the new one, Dreamsleeves, Aislinn O'Neill, O'Neill is the girl's name. I love this girl, and this is currently my new favorite book. I think if you ask any author who has published more than one book what his or her favorite book is, you're going to hear that person say, that would be like asking me to choose my favorite child, because when you spend that much time of your love and attention and talent creating something and then it's out in the world, it does feel like you've given birth to something. And with all the excitement inherent in that and all the nervousness inherent in that, like what if people don't like my girl, that sort of thing. So this is my new book, and this has to be the one I love best, right?
So how did you come up with the idea to make it set in Troy, New York?
That, Delaney, came just sort of organically. There are kind of two camps of fiction writers in the world. Some plot out everything, plan out everything. They know chapter 1 through 30 and how it's all going to go. That feels like advanced calculus to me. I'm in the other camp, and that is you get an idea, you get a voice, and you show up on the page, and you don't know where you're going, and people show up, and that person shows up, and here we go, and that's where the plot's going to go. I'm in that camp. And so when I showed up that day to start writing this girl, and I started it out with what is now maybe a chapter 20. I started out as chapter 1, and I think she's saying something like, I think we all come born with one thing to teach. Something like that. This is my one thing.
Yep.
I think if you have a dream, you should wear it on your sleeve. And I'm like, I love this girl. Who's she going to be? And as it went on, quickly into the writing, I was smack back in South Troy, circa 1970, my life at 13. And in that house, with that family, with all, and it came out in Aislinn story. Much of the story is fiction. Much more of it is true from my life, but it's cast into fiction, which I think is the best way to write to turn personal narrative into a book.
That's very cool. And it must have been cool to write about like places around you and those kinds of things, because you know it better than anyone else does. I was wondering if you liked to write, if you enjoyed writing picture books or novels. I mean, I would assume that writing novels is a lot harder. It takes a lot more work, but I don't know how much work goes into a picture book either.
Actually, I've been writing novels almost exclusively for the past 4 years, and I actually find it easier to write a novel for me, because to write a picture book, you have to totally focus on story, and you don't get to describe anything that the artist would do with the art. So I can't describe a sunrise the way I could in the Willow books. I can talk about the ribbons of light and that diamond. I can paint the picture in my words. In a picture book, the artist gets to do that part. But I have a new picture book though coming out this summer called Big. It's about the ways in which a person truly becomes big in the world. It's about, when you were small, you couldn't wait to be big, and now you're in school. Are you big now, and what does big mean? And there's going to be an app that goes with it. So
cool.
Every day, young people can go on the app and read a new way to be big in the world that day. Like, it might be a big healthy idea, like try a new vegetable.
Like, do you think that you'll write a sequel to Dreamsleeves?
Oh, I've already got it down. I know exactly what I want to do next. I know exactly how I would want to do it. I see it as a trilogy.
Yeah.
That will
sequel's more of a movie.
That will all depend on sales, Delaney.
Yeah.
That's the thing. At the end of the day, this is a business. So as much as it's got blurbs from 2 of the most prolific, famous authors of my day on the cover and in the back, it's got getting great reviews. The sales are strong. I'm getting amazing letters. The sales really have to be there before Scholastic will say, all right, this is a product that's selling. How would you like to write a sequel? And I'll be like, yeah. That's how that works.
So most of your novels have been about girls and have female characters. How do you find this teenage voice? Do you tune back to when you were a teenage girl? Since you have 3 sons, is it hard how do you do your research for that?
Oh, that's a good question. I do have novels where the protagonist is a boy. In fact, Simon & Schuster pitched me an idea. The wedding planner's daughter, the publisher of Simon & Schuster, how about the funeral director's son, you know? She's got 3 boys, have her write boy books. And so I have 3 or 4 novels with boy protagonists, but the ones that have sold well, the ones that do well, the Wedding Planner Daughter books, the Sunny Holiday books, Aislinn, the Dreamsleeves, it's a girl main character, and I don't even think about it. I hear her and I go with it, and because there are some things that never change. I was a girl at all of those ages. Some things never change. How you feel about yourself, how you feel when you look in the mirror at yourself, body image stuff, best friend or no best friend stuff, boyfriend or no boyfriend stuff, family dynamic, happy family, sad family, dreams you have for some stuff never is universal and never changes.
Well, thank you very much.
Delaney, you're so welcome. Is Big, and it's a picture book and it comes out on August 2nd.
That's all from the St. Rose Studio. Thanks for watching.